Hey friend, Church D coming at you once again. Thank you for tuning into What Does It Take to Win. I hope you're having a pretty good day. I hope you're having a pretty good week. If you're not having a good day or week, I hope it gets better for you. Hey, I just want to remind you that there's a lot of great content that you can access by clicking the link in the description. If the link isn't clickable and you're listening to this on YouTube, you can actually just go directly to my channel and click the link from there and we can connect there. You can connect with me on all of my social media accounts. And then, you can sort of just access all of the great content that I have for you. I just want to remind you that I released a project. The latest release is entitled Transitions. You can go ahead and listen to that on all streaming platforms, anywhere you listen to music. If you're looking for instrumentals, if you're looking for beats, if you rap, sing, if you're a producer who's looking to collaborate, if you're a podcaster, a content creator, and you just need some instrumentals, just hit me up. You can head straight to my beat page and you can actually download some instrumentals that are already made for you. They're recorded already and produced. If you want something custom made, you can just reach out to me. You can book that service and we can go over, what you're looking for and I can create from the ground up for you. Feel free to hit me up for any type of production, mixing, or mastering. I still offer those services as well. If you are into live music, a musical director, musician, etc., and you're looking to get your band to sound tighter and fuller, I do have a free loop pack that is available for download. So you can go ahead and access that by clicking the link in the description. If you get a chance to, you can also check out some of my YouTube clips where I'm actually running some of those loops that are available for download. If you're looking for even more loops, I have some other products that are available as well. You can access that once again by clicking the link in the description. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the topic of this hour for this episode. I always say that I'm not going to be very long. Hopefully this episode I won't be very long, but it's more so something that I want to talk to you about and really get the wheels turning in your mind just to, have you do some thinking and even some soul searching. As I grow older, I find myself quietly observing people and their behaviors. This is done in a non-judgmental way. I just want to put that out there. Recently, I was observing fashion choices, career choices, and just overall life decisions that were being made by people of all ages. It really grabbed my attention. So I began to ask myself the question, I wonder why they chose to do what they're doing. And I believe this would be great for us to identify who we are and why we're doing things the way we do them, and if we're doing the right thing. So I think it's appropriate to title this episode, Why Do You Do What You Do? I'll say it once again. Why do you do what you do? As I mentioned, this is more so for soul searching and to kind of get your mind going and thinking about, why you're living your life the way you're living it. If it's working for you, great. If it's not working for you, what can be done to fix it? So I'm not going to have, the traditional points that I like to discuss, but more so, these are just areas to explore, right? Areas in our lives to explore. So the first area to explore is finance and career choices. The second area is family. The third area is nutrition. And the fourth area is fashion. I believe all of these areas are connected, of course, and, they play a major role in our lives. So let's start with the first area of finance and career choices. I believe this is, one of the more important roles, one of the more important areas to discuss, if not the most important area. So I'm just going to ask a bunch of questions. I'll try to ask them pretty slowly so you can answer them as we're going. And that's really going to be the nature of this episode. It's going to be a lot of questions. So before we actually jump into it, let me just give you a little bit of my background first. So I'm a husband, a father, and an entrepreneur. I have a degree in business with a concentration in entrepreneurship and a certificate for mental health coaching. I've worked in finance for over a decade, and as an entrepreneur, I offer services in live performance, production, and coaching. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. If you want to know some more, just click the link in the description. So as we're diving into the first area to explore, which is finance and career choices, I believe it's the most important, right? So, here are some questions that you would want to ask yourself and try to answer them. Why do you do what you do? Okay. Ask yourself, what is it that you do? Is your career choice something that you wanted to get into from a young age before your wings were clipped? Now, sidebar, if you've listened to one of my previous episodes, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I asked about your wings being clipped. If you're not familiar with it, go ahead and get a quick refresher. But I digress. Was this something that, you wanted to do, or were your wings just kind of clipped and then you were thrusted into it involuntarily? And now, since it's paying your bills, you're kind of sticking with it. Do you actually enjoy your career choice, or do you hate it? What would you have done differently? Or what would you have done the same way? Let's talk about finance now. When I was preparing to get married, we were going through counseling, and one of the top issues in marriages that would, lead to, the D word, we don't want to say that word, but was finance and the issues surrounding it, whether, it was poor money management or just simply not making enough money, maybe greed, whatever the matter may be. Finance was one of the top issues that could lead to the D word. So I have some more questions. How are you with your finances? Why do you spend your money the way you spend it? Are you a responsible spender, or would you be considered an irresponsible spender? Do you have a savings account? And do you have an emergency fund? For those who are single, have you started family planning with your finances? Have you started to put money away towards marriage? Did you put money away towards your children, other investments? These are all questions that you would want to ask yourself. Since we're talking about family now, I think this would be a great segue into my next area to explore, which is indeed family, right? So when it comes to family, what's your relationship like with your family? Whether it's your immediate family that you grew up with or your extended family, like aunts, uncles, cousins, and other relatives, maybe in-laws. Are you estranged from your family members, or are you close? Right? Are you guys close, or are you cordial? As far as family planning, if you are unmarried, are you looking forward to getting married, or do you want to stay single? And then another question to ask is, why would you want to do either of the two? Why would you want to stay single, or why would you want to get married? So these are some questions that you can take in and answer. Let's move on to another area to explore, which is nutrition. Right? There's a saying that says, let food be thy medicine and medicine thy food. I can't fully remember off the top who said that, but I'm sure it was somebody important. Why do you make the choices you make when it comes to nutrition, right? Is it something you grew up doing? Is it cultural? 9 times out of 10, it's probably cultural, right? We all grew up, in a certain region of the world, and we just eat a certain way because of our culture. Understandable. If you live in the United States, you have a little bit more of a variety because it's such a melting pot where we get different types of cuisines from all over the world. But I digress. Is it cultural, or is it something that was just handed down, right? Would you consider your eating habits healthy, or would they be considered unhealthy? If you have unhealthy eating habits, would you consider changing them? Or are you perfectly okay with eating what tastes good? I want you to ponder on those questions that I've asked just now. And we're going to move on to our fourth and final area to explore, which is fashion. Why do you dress the way you dress? Does everything have to be expensive and made by a famous designer? Or could you get something that's plain and that doesn't really have any type of designer names on it? Who are you trying to impress? And are they actually being impressed? Is there something deeper that we need to explore? Is there a void that you're trying to fill based on the way you dress? Are you dressing for comfort? Are you dressing for fashion? Or are you trying to marry the both of them and have comfort and fashion and be in style with the latest trends? So I'm not going to ask any more questions. I think we'll just put to rest our fourth and final area to explore. But let's see if I can answer some of the questions that I asked, or I can indirectly, give some answers. I'd like to do stuff like that, so I'm not necessarily the one who's leading your life. I just want you to take in what I've said and to really think for yourself, because I know you can do it. So let's start with the finance and the career choices, right? So the first question I asked is, why do you do what you do? For me, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing right now is this is what I always this is what I always wanted to do before my wings were trying to get clipped, right? From childhood, this is something that's always been on my heart to do. The way I ended up doing it was actually a bit more non-traditional, but still a blessing. Okay. As far as family, right? One question I asked is, do you plan on getting married or do you plan on staying single? For me, I always knew that I was the marrying type. I always desired a wife and children. So, there's a season in my life in which it didn't look like that was going to happen for me, but I never gave up hope. And then, thankfully, by the grace of God, I was able to get married. And that rattling that you're hearing in the background is my 9-month-old who just woke up from a 2.5-hour nap. So let's pray that I can also get some rest at some point. Moving right along to nutrition. A question I asked for nutrition is, one of the questions is, if you have unhealthy eating habits, would you consider changing them, or do you simply eat what tastes good? As for me, I had very unhealthy eating habits during one season in my life. I was eating fast food. Most people would eat fast food once a week. I was eating fast food probably twice a day, and I realized I had to do something about that. I had to begin cooking my own food more and more because I want to live long. I want to be there for my family. I want to be there for my wife and children. Okay. And last but not least, it is fashion. And one question I asked with the fashion area is, who are you actually trying to impress with the way you dress? For me, I try to wear things that are timeless, something that's got more of a classic look that's not necessarily going to go out of style. So the type of sneakers that I wear, the type of even hats and, shirts that I wear, they've been in style since before I was even born. And I like to kind of stick to that. Every now and again, I might grab something that's somewhat trendy. But for the most part, I'm going for comfort and something that's timeless and classic. I hope this episode, sort of dropped some, ideas into your mind and really got the wheels turning. It wasn't like the traditional episodes that I've been putting out, but I'm really concerned about, I don't want to say concerned, but I'm really interested in helping you, the listener. So hopefully this helps you in any way it can. I'm going to go tend to my 9-month-old, and I hope you guys have a blessed rest of the week. Thanks for tuning into this episode, and most importantly, thanks for tuning into this podcast. I really, really appreciate you. Hey, don't forget to share this with somebody that you know, love, and you're concerned about. Or you can share it with somebody that you're not even concerned about. But be sure to share it. Like, comment, and share. Also, click the link in the description. I have many more great things in store for you. Let's connect. God bless.